Uruguay 1930 World Cup, Tiento and T model. In 1930, the concept of an official match ball didn't exist. Footballs were just animal bladders stuffed inside stitched cowhide. To inflate them, you had to untie a thick leather lace, pump air in, and tie it back up, like a heavy, dangerous shoe. This crude design sparked the most bizarre controversy in World Cup final history. Argentina and host nation Uruguay couldn't agree on which ball to use. The referee's solution? Use Argentina's ball, the Tiento, for the first half, and Uruguay's T model for the second. Argentina led 2-1 with their lighter ball. But in the second half, using their heavier, larger T model, Uruguay scored 3 unanswered goals to win 4-2. The weight of the ball literally decided the first World Cup. Italy 1934 World Cup, Federale 102. 4 years later, a small but vital engineering tweak was made. The Federale 102 consisted of 13 hand-stitched leather panels. But more importantly, it replaced the brutal leather laces with soft cotton threads. Why? So players wouldn't literally bleed when heading the ball. France 1938 World Cup, Allen. The Allen ball maintained the 13-panel design and cotton threads. Interestingly, while the balls used during the matches were unbranded, the manufacturer placed a branded version in the center circle before the final just for photographs. It was the absolute genesis of modern sports marketing. Brazil 1950 World Cup, Super Ball Duplo T. After World War II, the tournament returned with a massive technological leap. The Super Ball Duplo T eliminated laces entirely. It was inflated via a hidden valve inserted directly into one of its 12 leather panels, creating a much more uniform and spherical surface. This was the ball that witnessed the Maracanãzo, Uruguay's shocking victory over host nation Brazil in front of 200,000 silent fans. Switzerland 1954 World Cup, Swiss World Champion. Featuring 18 interlocking zigzag panels, the Swiss world champion was painted a bright yellow to help fans see it. But the ultimate enemy remained undefeated: water. Natural leather is highly porous. During the rain-soaked 1954 final, the ball absorbed so much water it became dangerously heavy, drastically altering its bounce and flight path. Sweden 1958 World Cup, Top Star. Chosen blindly from 102 unbranded submissions, the 24-panel Top Star was the winner. To combat the water issue, manufacturers coated the leather in wax. It was a temporary fix, but it provided enough stability for a 17-year-old named Pelé to announce himself to the world, and for France's Just Fontaine to score a record 13 goals in a single tournament. Chile 1962 World Cup, Crack the Crack Ball. Introduced differently shaped, curved panels to create a rounder sphere. However, the quality control was a nightmare. In the humid, wet conditions of Chile, the ball lost its shape and became heavier, forcing referees to constantly swap it out for European-made backup balls during matches. England 1966 World Cup, Challenge 4-Star. Manufactured by Slazenger, the Challenge 4-Star returned to a more reliable 25-panel design. It was chosen through another blind test in Soho Square. While structurally sound, it was still made of organic leather, meaning it still suffered from the same core vulnerability to moisture. The world needed a material revolution. Mexico 1970 World Cup, Telstar. In 1970, FIFA partnered with Adidas, and the design brief wasn't just about football, it was about broadcasting. Mexico 1970 was the first World Cup broadcast live globally. Adidas engineered a masterpiece based on a truncated icosahedron. The Telstar consisted of 32 panels, 20 white hexagons, and 12 black pentagons. This high-contrast design was engineered specifically so the ball would be visible on the blurry black-and-white televisions of the era. It permanently rewired our cultural brains. West Germany 1974 World Cup, Telstar Durlast. Retaining the iconic 32-panel look, the Telstar Durlast was coated with a thin layer of polyurethane, PU. This synthetic coating provided vital protection against scratches and significantly improved its resistance to water. Argentina 1978 World Cup Tango. The 32-panel Tango introduced the triad design, curved black triangles that created an optical illusion of 12 perfect interlocking circles. This aesthetic was so flawless, it became the definitive blueprint for the next 20 years of World Cup balls. Spain 1982 World Cup Tango España. The Tango España holds a special place in history. It was the very last leather ball used in a World Cup. To finally solve the water absorption issue, Adidas inlaid the seams with rubber. It was a noble effort, but the organic era was officially over. Mexico 1986 World Cup Azteca. The Azteca was a monumental leap. It was the first 100% fully synthetic World Cup ball. This wasn't just a design choice, it was a massive shift in the global supply chain. Sourcing unpredictable natural cowhide was replaced by the precise procurement of synthetic polymers. The Azteca was durable, retained its shape at extreme altitudes, and completely rejected water. Italy 1990 World Cup Etrusco Unico. Building on the Azteca's synthetic foundation, the Etrusco Unico incorporated an internal layer of black polyurethane foam. This structural addition made the ball lighter, faster, and completely waterproof, perfectly suited for the intense tactical battles of Italia 90. USA 1994 World Cup Questra. Throughout the 90s, engineering focus shifted from waterproofing to sheer speed. The Questra introduced aerospace technology to the pitch, syntactic foam. This layer was packed with microscopic gas-filled balloons. When struck, these microballoons compressed and violently snapped back, creating a massive energy return. The result? A tournament flooded with terrifying high-speed, long-range goals. France 1998 World Cup Tricolore. The tricolore was the first multicolored ball in World Cup history, matching the French flag. It utilized an advanced version of the syntactic foam, making it even more explosive off the boot. Korea/Japan 2002 World Cup Fever Nova. The Fever Nova broke the 24-year tradition of the Tango design. It boasted a notoriously thick inner foam layer. It was so light and bouncy that legendary goalkeepers like Gianluigi Buffon openly criticized its erratic behavior. Yet it was the ball that witnessed the ultimate redemption of Brazil's Ronaldo. Germany 2006 World Cup Teamgeist. In 2006, Adidas decided that to make the perfect sphere, they had to kill the stitch. The Teamgeist featured just 14 propeller-shaped panels, thermally bonded together using extreme heat. It was less than 1% away from being a perfect sphere. But this pursuit of smoothness was about to backfire. South Africa 2010 World Cup Jabulani. Reduced to just 8 3D molded panels, the Jabulani was the roundest, smoothest ball ever made. But fluid dynamics hates perfect smoothness. Because the ball had virtually no seams, the air flowing over it detached too early, creating a massive low-pressure wake behind it. This caused severe knuckleballing. The ball would violently and unpredictably shift directions in midair. If you were tracking the technical specifications in testing, the data showed a critical flaw, but it was too late. Strikers hated it. Only Uruguay's Diego Forlán managed to master its chaotic physics. Brazil 2014 World Cup Brazuca. To fix the Jabulani disaster, engineers realized they had to add drag back into the equation. Enter the Brazuca. It had only 6 panels, but they were shaped like complex propellers. This meant the seams connecting them were 68% longer and significantly deeper than the Jabulani. These deep trenches acted like aerodynamic gutters, holding onto the air, creating a turbulent boundary layer and perfectly stabilizing the flight path. Russia 2018 World Cup Telstar 18. Paying homage to the 1970 original, the Telstar 18 featured a pixelated motif. Structurally, it maintained a six-panel seamless design, but it marked the beginning of the IoT era by embedding an NFC chip inside, allowing fans to interact with the ball using their phones. Qatar 2022 World Cup, Al Rila. The Al Rila bumped the panel count back up to 20, using a polyurethane skin called speed shell, covered in microtextures to perfectly manage airflow. But its true secret was inside. Suspended in the dead center of the ball was a 500 Hz inertial measurement unit, IMU. It transmitted precise spatial data 500 times a second to the VAR room, fueling the semi-automated offside system. The ball was no longer just equipment, it was the referee. USA, Mexico, Canada, 2026 World Cup, TRIONDA. The FIFA World Cup 2026 introduces the TRIONDA. Remember the 8-panel Jabulani disaster? The TRIONDA shatters that record, dropping down to an astonishing 4 panels. How does a 4-panel ball not fly like a beach ball? The engineers abandoned traditional shapes. To prevent aerodynamic instability, they engineered intentionally deep seams to evenly distribute drag. Up close, the surface is covered in micro-embossed icons of the host nations, a texture designed specifically to elevate grip in humid environments. Inside, the next generation of the 500 Hz sensor beats like a digital heart, calculating every touch with millimeter precision.